Sorry, hold on. I'm trying to find the movie right now in the Kung Fu section. I couldn't find it under action over there, so it must be here. You know, Kung Fu action movies used to really kick ass back in the day. Not to say that there aren't any good ones coming out nowadays, but there's also no denying that the stuff China was pumping out back in the 80s was like nothing else before and so far after it. Getting into these, you'll find the big actors like Jackie Chan, of course, popping off. But going a bit deeper into it, you'll hopefully start finding the more wild and unrestrained movies of this era. At this point, you'll most likely meet the Shaw Brothers. Their studio delved into many genres, but the one that they really went into and popularized the most in their time was Kung Fu action. In their movies, you'll find good stuff like this, and this, and well, yeah, you get the point. They of course have big classics like the 36 Chambers of Wu-Tang, Shaolin, but a lot of their filmography really is full of many hidden gems waiting to be found. I'll get into more of these movies another day, or if I'm crazy enough, maybe I'll end up talking about every single one of these. Huh? What's that? There's over 1,000 of them? Okay, forget that idea. Either way, I'll only focus on one of their movies for today to really give you a good example of what they got. Oh, here it is. The one I wouldn't say is their best, but I would say is one of, if not their most, how do I say it? Unhinged. Holy Flame of the Martial World came out back in 1983, and its plot is one hell of a soap operatic kung fu fantasy. I think that's the best way I can put it. Yes, the entire movie moves this fast. The story is about this couple. Well, not really, because they both die in the first 5 minutes. You see, clans are going after this guy because he has possession of this blade called the Holy Flame, which he kept hidden somewhere unknown. As you can see, it ultimately led to him and his wife dying. And it almost led to his baby son's death too, if it weren't for said baby getting saved by this laughing grandpa. Laughing Grandpa leaves with the baby intending to raise him as his kung fu student so that he can grow up and use the Holy Flame to avenge his dead parents. However, the big spice in this soap opera of a plot comes from the fact that there was a second baby. And the second baby grows up being raised by the lady who killed her parents, while being tricked into being on the bad guy's side. Note that all of this is just the beginning. Almost everything I said happens in the first 10 minutes. From here, the story keeps unraveling into crazier stuff. People fight, people die, people switch sides. There's this part in a cave with traps. At one point, they fight this green guy.
I'd kill you.
And it all ultimately leads to one of the most insane final battles you can see in a martial arts movie. And they somehow squeezed all of this into 85 minutes. As you can see, this movie is pumping with nothing but hyper energy in its veins. The movie feels like it's going at 2 times speed for the entire runtime. They send their actors flying on wires every other scene. The fights have them throwing lasers with tokusatsu-like explosions going off everywhere. A lot of Shaw Brothers stuff actually likes to do this kind of thing, and it's pretty cool. While the story itself is very melodramatic, its dramatic tone is very fitting with the spectacle going on around it. The film also feels self-aware enough about itself. There's some people that would call this a so bad it's good kind of movie. I disagree. This is a movie that feels like it knows exactly what it's doing, and it stays committed to it for the entire way. And it's a lot of fun to watch. Going now into some background info about this movie. This was directed by Tony Liu Chun-Koo, who seems to really like working on movies with bonker-ass stuff going on like this one. The same year as Holy Flame, he directed Bastard Swordsman. It also contains some really crazy martial arts. This one is a lot messier than Holy Flame though, with its dramatic plot, being a story about 2 rival clans and the main character being a mistreated servant in one of said clans. And he is also secretly a kung fu master. Whoa. It gets a little too convoluted for its own good though, when the main villain ends up being this one guy who kills the clan's chief for revenge, and that chief is revealed to be the father of the main character, and the mother of the main character happens to be the wife of the other clan's chief, and so it turns out that the main character was born from an affair. Yeah, it's a lot. It's worth it by the end though, because the final fight in this movie is pretty damn cool. At the same time though, this also has just a hilariously abrupt ending. And I don't think it was intentional. They showed the main character getting the girl, and then it just ends right after that.
你一个人浪迹天涯，不怕寂寞？
有人肯陪我吗？
我肯。
Another one of Jungkook's movies is titled The Holy Virgin versus The Evil Dad. What a fucking title. And unfortunately it doesn't star Bruce Campbell, but it does star Donnie Yen. Fucking Yip Man. There's also nudity in this. Way too much of it. Yeah, this is a more sleazy and grimier kind of movie compared to the others. This one's story has a whole mystery about a cult with a moon monster coupled with crazy kung fu and pyrotechnics as usual. To be honest though, this one's definitely not as good as the other two are at that. But at the very least, it has this wacky scene. With all that said, Holy Flame is still my personal favorite from Jungkook's stuff. And if that movie sounds like your jam, then I highly recommend it to you. And from there, you should also get into the huge pile of movies that the Shaw brothers have to offer. If you like Holy Flame, then you'll most likely find some more stuff to like in there as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Go watch this movie. Do it now.